Hello, everyone. Today's session is about creating rubrics for a 360-degree report card. Now, we have heard this term 360-degree report card when NEP draft came in, right? They were saying that the report card has to be more comprehensive, more data of the student has to be involved, not only in academics, but in other areas. And now, slowly, the schools are trying to build a format for this 360-degree evaluation. So first part of the session will be to explain how the 360-degree report card has to be prepared, what are the parameters and protocols involved, and second part, who are the stakeholders, and in the end, I will show you a sample of a report card, right? So I hope this session is going to benefit all those people who are trying to make this. Of course, CBSE is going to send us more definite formats, but this is something which is probably by reading the NEP and the NCF document, something which I have prepared. Based on that, I have prepared. So this is not the final format. Let me just tell you, this is based on the ideas that I have collected, the points that I have collected from the NEP, that it should be based on these parameters, right? So this will give you some idea on what is supposed to be a 360-degree report card. So on that note, by welcoming you all, I want to start this session and move right away to the rubrics. So first thing that we have to understand is that when we talk about a 360-degree report card, it is a complete report card. That means it's not, coming from one direction. Earlier, the teacher was the only person who was involved in this. So it will depend on a lot of assessment areas. So what are those assessment areas? It will involve academics, life skills, mental health, physical health. It will include art, painting, music. It will involve parents. It will involve peer evaluation, teachers, administrators, all the stakeholders of the school. Okay, that is the complete assessment that is going to happen. So it is not unidirectional. It is multidimensional in nature, right? So the first thing that we have to understand is that the academic performance of the child is, of course, the major part of a report card. How the child is performing. A school is basically for imparting academics, besides, of course, the life skills and other things. But what we are basically classifying our report card, the major part of it is academics at the moment, and that is going to reduce to about, let's say, 33% in the coming 360-degree format. So academic performance, what are the parameters on which we can judge? So if you look at the board criteria, there are marks and there are also grades which are on a basis of percentile, because many queries come regarding that, I've got 95, but still not A. I've not got an A1. So the parameters are different for the grading system in the boards, which I have explained in a separate video, right? So right now, today, I'm explaining how academic performance is going to be evaluated. Of course, you already know that there are internal assessment and external assessments and so on. So if I look into the academics, basically, we can say outstanding, who are your outstanding students, they are classified in one. So your A1, A, they come under outstanding. So outstanding means they have exceeded all your exceeded that grade level, whatever is the parameters involved in grading them, they have exceeded the expectations of the teacher, right? And they are applying those skills in their real life. Critical thinking skills have been developed fully, and they are producing consistently high quality work, so that these students can be given outstanding, right? So outstanding or the corresponding grade, whichever A or A plus. Then the next category of students will be proficient. Proficiency means you have achieved the required skills, but not exceptionally, but consistently they are producing the levels as expected by the school or the teacher. And they are also applying it effectively, and they are also consistently producing good quality. So proficient and outstanding, there is a slight difference. So if you are able to distinguish between them, let's say the top 10% or 20% of your students will be outstanding, and the remaining 10 to 20% may be proficient. So they are borderline cases, and these proficient students may become outstanding in the coming months or coming years. We never know, because no child can be bracketed that they are outstanding or proficient. Then comes the developing. These are students who are having, let's say, between 40 to 60% of grades, and 60 to 80 was our proficient. So they are developing. They are not outstanding, they are not proficient, but they are developing. To a certain extent, they are passing all their exams, they are getting 60% marks. They are beginning to apply. So they are not able to do very tough questions, but they apply reasonably well. And they are producing varying quality. That means sometimes they'll be good, sometimes they'll be. So consistency is lacking. So we will put this in the developing category. That is the C. And then below expectations, children who are not performing well at all, and they have limited understanding, they require special help. The quality of work is not satisfactory. So this will be the fourth category. So if I have 4 levels in this report card, so the A++, that is outstanding, then comes the proficient, A grade, then comes the B, that is people who are not outstanding or proficient, but at the same time they're improving, developing, and below expectations, students who are not performing well at all, and they require some help. And duty is to bring these below expectations, or children who are getting D, E grade, etc. And we have to find out ways and means to make them better. So this is regarding the academic part. So it can be grades, it can be marks. So this we are already aware. Then we come to the co-curricular activities. So far, co-curricular activities were very limited and probably not given any significance in the report card. Now the NEP says that the co-curricular word itself should be removed. The co-curricular word itself should be removed. And the report card should have adequate proof of these co-curricular activities. So whether you are having music or dance or drama or mime or clay modeling, whatever it is, you have to include this in the report card and show that the student has participated, not participated, again, exemplary, proficient, developing, or limited. So this can only be shown in the report card when you are doing it. So that is why the NEP says that introduce a lot of subjects which is not strictly academic in nature. So we were using co-curricular, but they are saying that this is also part of the curriculum. Right? Even in the SQAAF document, the curriculum and co-curricular has been combined into one. Earlier, it was curricular and non-curricular grading. So now you will find that it is combined into one. So we find that here also we can divide into 4 categories. So some will be exemplary. They are contributing in all the extracurricular activities. Some will be proficient. They are good and they are contributing in some. And developing means they are it's very limited. They make some contribution, but it's not enough. And of course, limited means, of course, they make no contribution. They make little contribution, and they are probably not interested in any of the activities. So the first part was academics. Our report card first is academics, which is the major part, and then comes our co-curricular activities, but this should be included because NEP clearly says that in the 360-degree report card, co-curricular activities mentioned should be there and it cannot be avoided. Then comes the life skills, which again was totally neglected, and actually it is the most important part of our lives. Whatever academics you do, that will give you a degree or theoretical knowledge, but our practical knowledge is coming from life skills, and therefore this has to be introduced. So here also we have the categories of that exceeding expectations of what type of life skills are you introducing in your school. That depends on the school. There is no compulsion that it has to be done. So it could be anything. It could be, plumbing. It could be carpentry. It could be artificial intelligence, coding. It could be life skills of, cooking, or anything which they can apply in real life is called a life skill. So we need to introduce that. And we have to grade them in that also. So it could be swimming, it could be teaching on, medical emergencies. So there are different things that you can think about and how we can impart this, especially during the bagless days which are going to be introduced. A lot of life skills can be taught to the students, not only by the teachers, but by including the other stakeholders like your alumni, students who have passed out from your school, or parents. Or you can invite people from your neighborhood who are, known for things. So like that, and then we will grade the students on the basis of that. Are they able to apply these life skills in real life? That's very, very important. And then give a grade on the basis of that. Are they able to solve problems? Are they creative? Are they able to collaborate with one another? Can they communicate with one another freely? Can they communicate with the teachers or elders freely? Is the message that they are giving to us clear? So there has to be clarity in expression and thought. Whenever they are doing something, it has to be useful for the society and for themselves. And self-management. That means hygiene is very important. Health is one important. So when you talk about self-help, then yoga, meditation, then different games that students play, all this will come under life skills, right? Then the next part of the report card will include, this is, as I said, as it will meet expectations. This is about the life skill itself. Are they able to do all this? Then they will give them a progressing. That means they're showing some improvement, but at the same time, they are not outstanding. Then we have needs improvement. That means life skills are there, but very, very basic. They are not able to apply it properly, or they are not able to communicate with others, or they are not able to collaborate. So that needs improvement. And then values and aptitudes. Many schools I have seen report cards, values and aptitudes. Are they behaving well? Are they punctual? Are they neat? You know, that these are the values, and then we put the grade. So I think this part, many of our report cards are already having. If you're not having, please do include values and attitudes. It's very important that the student is given not only the marks, but grading also in this. So grading has to be with respect to, are they respecting the school ethos? Are they punctual? Are they empathetic? Are they responsible? Are they having positive attitude? Are they wearing clean uniform? Do they are they having a strong sense of integrity? So all these parameters can be introduced based on your school motto and vision. You can do that. Okay. And in all this, as I said, there has to be parameters. So when you say A or B or C, the parent has to understand why the child is getting A. So is it because of this reason? That has to be very clearly mentioned, that why it is A, why it is B. Like in some report cards, we see that A is between 91 to 100. So there is a clarity. Okay, then my child has got and between 91 and 100, that's why there is an A. So here also, there has to be clarity in the grading system of why we are giving this. So when you are giving developing B or progressive or whatever it is, we have to give the grades based on this. So if you are giving C, then the C means this, limited, displays limited development of values and attitudes. Okay, there is less of empathy. So there may be some incidents which have happened, and you have an anecdotal of that child, you know, where he was not empathetic towards a child probably with special needs, or of a different caste, creed, or religion. So that all we'll have to analyze as class teachers or as subject teachers, as counselors, as special educators. So all that, does he have a positive learning attitude in the class, or is he constantly disturbing in the class? So all these parameters will give these grades. And then we come to the social emotional development, again lacking in many of the report cards. Socio emotional development, again, which is very, very important. Here also, is the child exceeding the expectation by having self-regulation? Is the child self-aware? The child is aware of the social responsibilities, or after break, they are just throwing paper here and there, or, you know, socially, they are not aware of what's going on. Do they have relationship skills? All this is very important and part and parcel of our personality and character. So A grade for those who are exceeding expectation, then meeting expectations. They are self-aware, they are self-regulating, but there are some areas of improvement that will come meets expectation. Then progressing, they have little bit, but then they have to acquire more skills so that they gel with the society well, and they are of use to the society. They need to improve their relationship skills. You know, some people get very angry fast and then they start hitting each other. So this is where the grade of socio-emotional development becomes less. Or they're very emotional, you know, they cry unnecessarily when teacher scolds, or, you know, they get into fights often. That means they are not able to adjust. So this will require improvement. So all these parameters have to be included: academics, life skills, socio-emotional development, co-curricular activities. Then only our report card gets full. Otherwise, just giving the marks is not enough. So who are the people involved in this 360-degree report card? Earlier, it was only one teacher, class teacher, collecting all the marks and making the report card. Now there are multiple people who can be consulted for making the report card. Probably will still remain the job of the class teacher, but who all can be consulted, or whose records can be checked for making this 360-degree report card? First and foremost is, of course, we have to involve all the stakeholders. There are multiple stakeholders in a school, the principal, the counselor, the special educator, the subject teachers, the class teachers, the parents, when they are working in groups, then the peer. So we have to take all the stakeholders into consideration, and the report is made after consulting all these. So the key to a 360-degree report card is not that you are not making this report card based on your perception of that student. You are making a report card after analyzing different parameters. So the first and foremost, what is required is that teachers are the most important. They are the most important part of a 360-degree report card. Okay, so majority of, let's say 50% of the report card is done by the teacher themselves, because they are the best judges. They are with the students. They are evaluating the students. So all your co-curricular activities, academic performance, all this, your grades that the child is getting, you know. How are they participating in the class, you know. So you can give the assessment in these areas. So teachers form the first and foremost, or the most important part of the report card. So your first, let's say 50% that covers actually 180 degrees is done by the teachers. Earlier it was totally done by teachers. Now let's say 50% will be done by the teachers. The next comes the role of the administrators. Administrators means your superiors, your principal, vice principal, all these people. So they will also have something to say about the students. So they may be going through the classes. They may find that, you know, this student is participating in this, or this student is not behaving well. So it gives you a more realistic picture where there is monitoring of the students at different levels. One is at the class level and one is at the school level. So they will give guidance on, you know, so we have diary notes. In our school, we have a diary note where it is written notes from a teacher. Okay, when the child is not bringing homework, classwork. There is also a page note from the principal. And so the principal is observing something that is written. Vice principal is noting down something that is written. So that all can be recorded in the administrator. So administrator will involve all your school office. Okay, whether it's the principal, vice principal, coordinators, or, you know, whoever is in a superior post, we can refer to them as the administrator. So they will review the assessment process, and they may add, or they may want to say something about someone, then you'll have to add that into the report card. Then nowadays, you know, there is a lot of emphasis on group projects. You are aware that group projects are there. So when we talk about group projects, who are doing the group project? The students. So we find that students are working with each other. They are collaborating with each other to do a lot of things. So when they are collaborating with each other, you will find that there is also feedback from them. Sir or ma'am, this person was not cooperating, or this person did all the work, this person didn't do. He is very good. You come to also realize. So you will realize that some students are very good in front of you, but when they start working in groups, they're a different person altogether. So all this feedback is going to be given by the students when they're working in the group. So there are 5 students in a group, and you have a leader, and you have, you know, people who do the actual work. There may be 2-3 people who are not doing anything and relaxing in the glory of the group. They may get the same grade as everyone else when they are not doing it. So this feedback is important. How are they doing this? So feedback from the students. So that is very important, that we take the feedback from these students as well when we prepare our holistic report card, because our perception will be different when we are seeing them in the class, and the students' perception of that student will be different, and you will be surprised, because you may think that, okay, this fellow is like this. You may have a, you know, preconceived notions about that person, but when you ask the students, he will be a different character altogether. Not in all cases, but in some cases we observe that. So do take the feedback of the students, because they also form an integral part of our as stakeholders of the education system. Parents or guardians, another important factor we have to take. Whenever there is a feedback taken from a parent, it's important that that is taken care of. You know, we have lots of parent-teacher meetings. We interact through phone call, through WhatsApp messages. There are lots of things that they give. A lot of things which happen in the family, a lot of things which the children do at home, they share with the teachers, and that should be taken into consideration. So we are observing certain things with our eyes when we are present. The children are observing probably in the break time or when they are doing projects. Parents are observing at home. So their opinion also matters, and there are a lot of areas which can be included where the parents' assessment of the child is taken. So the report card will be a collaborative effort, not the teacher alone preparing, but the teacher, the administrator of the school, the parents, and the children all together will prepare this, right? And then only we can say it's a holistic or a 360-degree report card. Peer assessment is very important. Sometimes I have seen that teachers take a test and then they exchange the papers and they evaluate. Okay. And also there is a peer assessment, like, for example, you ask the students to prepare on some topic and they take the class. And then you ask the students to grade them. They will give the grade, the student, not you. You are not giving them 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. The class gives. So the class may give 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. And you will find that this is the way when we do peer assessment. So this encourages self-reflection. They will, when they know that the teacher is not evaluating, the whole class or a group is evaluating, they will try to prepare better because they want to save their face. Otherwise, it's only teacher. And nowadays, children are very immune. Okay, nothing will happen. Or sir keeps saying nothing will happen. Or here you are presenting something in front of 40 students and they're evaluating you. So they want to do something better. So the perspective of the students' performance becomes different when there is a group evaluation from peers. So peer assessment is definitely an integral part of the holistic report card. So that should be included. And there can be external evaluators, like SQAF, we are having now School Quality Assurance Assessment Framework, where external evaluators will come and check everything. So external evaluation can come. You can call experts. You can have, you may be teaching a particular class. You can request your head of the department or your colleague to come and check that. So what will happen? The assessment is not based on bias. So I know a student is good or bad. So my grades will probably depend on that. I'm not saying it's always like that, but we have a bias. Okay. But when there is an external person evaluating, then what happens? The evaluation is more or less transparent because the person doesn't know the student. They have no preconceived notion, no bias, and they will give the marks. So external evaluators can be appointed by the school or it will be appointed by CBSE, and then the evaluation criteria can be decided and rubrics can be decided accordingly. So it is important to make a 360-degree report card. It is important that all the stakeholders are involved. It is not that we are finding fault with one another, but we exchange ideas. We exchange information. That is very important. Information should not be secret. Information should be freely available to all the stakeholders so that this report card involves all the aspects of the person. Multi-dimensional personality has to be reflected in the report card. Otherwise, it's always the remarks is always based on the class teacher's perception, right? There may be so many other qualities which you are not aware of. So that will be, you will come to know when you are involved all the stakeholders in. So the overall contribution has to be seen and the assessment process will be complete only if there is holistic evaluation of the students' performance and development. So on this note, I want to thank you. And I will also show you a sample report card. It is not idealistic, but someone had shared in one of the groups. So I thought that since the session is based on preparing a holistic report card, so what all parameters can be included, so that I am showing. So you can just so let me take you through this sample report card. Okay, this is nothing official about it. It's a sample report card, which will help you to design your own report cards. So here the logo of the school can come, whichever is the school that you're teaching in. Name of the school, CBSE affiliation number, phone number, email, etc. The basic details. Our vision, mission, and motto. Very important that the parents and all the stakeholders know what is the motto of the school, what is the mission and vision, because every school will work towards these. And it is always a good idea to remember what is the vision of the school, what is the mission of the school, and what is the motto. And children and parents all should be aware of this. In many schools that I visit, I have seen this displayed right in front of the school gates. That is a reminder for them to work accordingly. The photograph of the student can come here. As I said, these are all suggestive. We can modify it. Name of the student, date of birth, address, the class, blood group, the eyesight, okay, mother's name, contact number, Here the roll number, height, weight, father's name, and contact number. So basic details of the parents are there. So it's an exhaustive report card. And then we have the scholastic areas, right? You see here the scholastic areas are there. In the scholastic areas, you will find the subjects. So whatever you are having, English, Hindi, math, science, social science, the subjects. Here we have the record of the periodic tests. And as per the board criteria, we know that a pen paper test is given only 5 marks. Okay, so there is 5 marks for this periodic test. So we are taking, although we are taking multiple tests, but only 5 marks are assigned for that. So we'll take the average of that or best of 2, that criteria and all you will take. What is best for the student, we are doing that. And then the notebook submission, basically we can remove this notebook submission and write it as portfolio. We are using that word portfolio for all the classwork and homework that you do. And many of you are doing some beautiful projects. So all that can come in this. So instead of this notebook submission, that can be replaced with portfolio. That sounds better. Then the multiple assessments, except for the paper pen test, it can be verbal tests. It can be any other form except for paper. It can be quizzes, it can be crosswords, it can be anything where multiple assessments, it can be field work, it can be some graphic or oral, this thing, map work, visual representation. It could be a basic class discussion. So all this will come under multiple. I've already discussed this in another session, that is internal assessments. So if you have not watched that session, please do watch. It's on my channel. It has been done some time back only, so you'll be able to find the how to do the internal assessments. So multiple assessment, subject enrichment activity we are all doing. So in maths and science we normally do lab activities. In other subjects, in languages, they do listening activities, speaking activities, and so on. ASL is there. Many of the other subjects are having projects. And also it is integrated. Art integration projects are there where your paired state is taken and you integrate that. So all this will be your total internal assessment 20, and then of course your board marks is 80, and the total that you get is 100. So this is the scholastic part of it. If there is any subject having practicals, that can be put here. There are many subjects like painting, home science, which has got a practical component. Information technology, theory 50 and practical 50, and that will be separately put here, 50-50. So what are the parameters? As I said, what are the parameters on which you will assess? That you can give here. Periodic, is it best of 2? Is it average? Whatever it is. Portfolio, what is the portfolio? What is multiple assessment? And what is the subject enrichment activity that can be described here? It becomes easier when you read the report what it is. So as I said, subject enrichment can involve practical work. In languages, it can be listening and speaking skills. In social science, it can be any project or map work or something like that, which you normally do. And here, additional subjects will not be included for the final percentage. Please remember that last time there was a problem. Many schools were using the additional subjects for calculating the percentage. That additional subjects will not be there. If you are having any additional subjects, you can put it in the report, but do not use that for calculation of the percentage. Then you have the co-scholastic area. So again, it depends on your school, what you have. So this is just a chart showing what can be done. So this is, you can have music, dance, drama, drawing, craft, sculpture, and descriptive indicators as explained in the session. That can be given A, B, C, D. Whether they are exceptional or outstanding or proficient or limited, whatever is that. And work education can be included, cookery skills, preparation of stationery items, photography, general knowledge, seva, all that is there in work education. Then discipline is a very, very important thing that can be assessed. The behavior, the attendance, the punctuality, sincerity, what are the values that they have. Then health and physical activities can be included. What type of sports do they play? Are they representing your school in inter-school activities? Are they part of NCC or NSS? Then yoga, how are they performing? Then, as I said, you can introduce courses like first aid and all that, which will give them life skills, and that can be assessed. Value education, are you having moral science classes? Health and hygiene, are they honest and truthful? Are they empathetic? Is there respect? So this shows their values. And all this can be prepared in a proper format, and grading can be given so that people will exactly know what is, on what basis the gradings have been given, and it's not just random, right? So here the grading scale for holistic development, as I said, A is exemplary, B is proficient, C developing, D emerging, and E is a beginner. So again, these are only rough, and you can, do it as per your school requirements, since the board has not brought out anything in concrete and as of now. So this is a suggestive. So this may change in the coming months, but to begin with, at least we can think about what a holistic report card looks like. So when we are looking at subjects, what is the holistic development taking place in subjects, then we can prepare something like this. So English, Hindi, whatever subjects you are having, we'll put that. Then we'll put the learning skill, literacy skill, life skill. In the subjects also, we can do the holistic development area. It's not only the curriculum they are getting the marks. So we have learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. So here we have put short form CTCR, COMM, and all that. So that short forms we can expand. CT is critical thinking, right? So for any language, are they using the critical thinking? CR stands for creativity. Then COMM stands for communication. Then we have the literary skills, that is information literacy, media literacy, right? Technology literacy. So this is all new things which can be included. And in life skills, flexibility, F stands for flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, self-awareness. So these are criteria on the basis of which the holistic development areas, besides the marks, can be assessed and grades can be given on the basis of these parameters. Then if the child is participating specific, suppose he is participating in the zonal level, or the child has participated in some colony functions, or they have their groups, some associations, or they are participating at national level or international levels, that specific participation can be recorded in the report. And of course, the class teacher's remarks based on all these parameters, and the result, whether they are promoted or not, the class teacher and the principal signs, and this document becomes complete. So this is more or less a 360-degree report card, where a lot of holistic factors are taken care of, not only the marks in the test. So normally we used to have only this part in our report, but now the report card will be having the other areas of the co-curricular activities, and will have the holistic development areas. That means it will involve life skills, and also it will involve health and fitness, values, discipline, visual and performing arts, and work education. So I hope I was able to give a basic idea of preparing a holistic report card. Of course, this is not the report card which will be followed in exactly a replica of this need not be followed. There can be parameters introduced or removed as per your school requirement. But more or less, it should be like this. And we will wait for further instruction from CBSE on the exact format. Till that time, I'm sure that since many of you are asking what is this 360-degree holistic report card, so this is just an introduction, a basic introduction to what a report card should be, so that you can work on the basic parameters at least. Thank you.